Hello, preschool friends. Today we have another story called Dumbo. Dumbo, Snowy Day. Dumbo was a very special elephant with his huge ears. He could soar through the sky like a bird. Dumbo performed in the circus with his mother, Mrs. Jumbo. One chilly day, the circus animals were on their way to the new town, but their train, Casey Jr., was struggling to get through the fallen snow. His wheels slid off the icy railroad tracks. Finally, Casey Jr. decided it was too dangerous to keep going. The train came to a stop and everyone waited for the snow to pass. Dumbo was happy that the train had stopped. He never played in the snow before. He thought it felt awfully strange as he tried to walk through it. The snow pressed against his feet like cold sand. You can do it, said Mrs. Jumbo. She gave him a gentle nuzzle. Soon Dumbo got the hang of walking through the snow. He liked the crunch, crunch, crunch sound that he heard with every step. All morning, Dumbo and his mother played in the snow. They gathered snowballs together with their trunks. They made snow elephants. They even played hide and seek, but as Dumbo and his mother explored, they got further and further away from the waiting train. Suddenly, Dumbo slid down a steep hill. He called after his mother to follow him, but when she reached the bottom of the hill, Mrs. Jumbo realized she couldn't climb back up. Dumbo tried to push, he tried to pull, but nothing worked. Mrs. Jumbo slipped further down the slope towards the sharp cliff. You have to fly and get help, Mrs. Jumbo told him. So Dumbo flew as fast as his ears would take him. As he soared to the train, the wind began to blow. It pushed him harder and harder against him. The snow stung his eyes and the cold nipped his nose. Finally, Dumbo's ears got so cold he couldn't fly, and he waited for the wind to pass. He worried about his mother. Once the wind died down, Dumbo raced back to the train. Quickly he gathered all the animals together so they could help. What are we waiting for? Timothy the mouse cried. We've got to save Mrs. Jumbo. Dumbo led his friends back to the cliff. By the time they found Mrs. Jumbo, the windstorm had pushed her even closer to the cliff's edge. The animals knew they had to think of something fast. Oh dear, worried the giraffe. How are we going to get down there to help? Timothy snapped his fingers. He had an idea. Everybody line up, he shouted. He ordered the animals to grab one another's tail. At the front of the line, the ostrich leaned over the cliff to take hold of Mrs. Jumbo's trunk. 1, 2, 3, pull! Timothy yelled. The animals worked together, huffing and puffing, pulling and stretching until Mrs. Jumbo made it safely to the top of the cliff. Hooray! Everyone shouted, and suddenly there was a loud crack. The cliff gave away, and the animals tumbled down. Watch out! Yelled the hippo. Yikes! Cried the monkeys. Uh-oh! Said the giraffe. Help! Howled the bear. All the animals tumbled together and rolled down the hill, long before they became a giant snowball. How do you stop this thing? Timothy shouted as he went zooming along. The snowball gathered speed until... Crash! Bang! Boom! Oof! The animal snowball hit the bottom of the hill and broke apart. Is everybody okay? Timothy asked as he straightened his hat. Luckily, everyone was fine, just a little dizzy from their unexpected snow ride. All the animals began walking back to the train. Walking wasn't nearly as fast as riding the snowball, but it was a whole lot less scary. That night, Mrs. Jumbo gave Dumbo a warm bath. Thank you for flying to get me help today, Mrs. Jumbo said to her son. I am so proud of you. Mrs. Jumbo smiled and blew a trunkful of water over his head. Hey, don't forget about me, said Timothy from his teacup. I helped too. Thank you. You did certainly. Ah, gee, said Timothy. It was nothing. Nothing at all. Then it was time for bed. Dumbo snuggled up against his mother, and Timothy nestled under Dumbo's ear. Good night, my darling, Mrs. Jumbo said softly. Sleep tight, said Timothy. Dumbo fell asleep right away. Tomorrow he and the circus animals would perform for hundreds of happy children in the new town. But for now, Dumbo was glad to be warm and safe with his mother as the snow fell gently outside. And that's the story of Dumbo and his snowy day. I will see you next time. Bye.